Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So for the first time in a month, Bitcoin's daily momentum has flipped bullish and the price surged all the way up to $108,000 throughout the week. Now, while things are starting to look up, there are some warning signs that are starting to develop both across market-wide charts and short-term Bitcoin price action, all of which pointing to a potential local top on the short term. In today's video, we're going to dive into what exactly these bearish signs are, what they could mean for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, and otherwise what would invalidate this bearish setup. Let's get into it. As always, before we dive in, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and sign up to my free Telegram for more regular Bitcoin updates. If you're a trader and you're interested in joining my trading VIP channel, be sure to message me down below on Telegram. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. Alrighty guys, so jumping into the charts, let's start off with a little bit of context on what's been going on in the price action and why this momentum flip here on the daily time frame has been so important. So for over a month now, I would say about a month and a week, Bitcoin has been sort of consolidating in this sort of segment of price action over here as we chop between the new all-time high, $112,000, and this base of support here at 100k, right? And very recently we went down to tap that level of support and closed above it here on the daily time frame, facilitating a massive recovery from Bitcoin. And we've also had external factors like the ceasefire between Iran, Israel, and US, and all these other things that's been happening in the market sort of trigger this rally. But nevertheless, we bounced on a really crucial level of support, and after the bounce rallied all the way up to $108,000 over here, and the daily chart momentum here has flipped bullish. We pushed past this month-long downtrend in the RSI, essentially marking the bearish momentum ever since the top here at 112, and we've pushed above that trend line. So structurally, RSI has actually flipped bullish. Now, after all these developments, and as Bitcoin sort of recovers and moves upwards, what we're looking for is signs of bullish continuation, that we're going to continue to see Bitcoin grind upwards past this liquidity zone over here, push back above $110,000, as well as this point of equal high, like sort of on the RSI, and push back obviously up into price discovery and past 112k. Now simultaneously, as Bitcoin's been pushing bullish here on the daily chart and grinding up to $108,000, what we've also been looking out for is the reaction to this price action that the rest of the market is having. So that means taking a look at total 3 and total market cap. So total 3 is essentially everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, so altcoins only essentially, and total is everything, right? And we can see that while Bitcoin has flipped bullish here and we've moved up past levels of resistance and into this liquidity zone and flipped momentum to being bullish on the daily chart, over on total 3 and total, overarching market sentiment has not flipped yet, right? If we take a look at total 3 specifically, we've actually rejected off the 50 and 200 EMA here, as well as our, I guess, similar RSI downtrend, marking sort of the rejection from 964 billion. And over on total, we've seen a similar reaction. So even though we pushed above the 50 EMA here, similar to Bitcoin, it was not enough to establish, I guess, a bullish flip in terms of overarching market sentiment. And that is a really big warning sign, because generally when we see Bitcoin break out first and flip bullish, at least in terms of momentum, when the rest of the market is, I guess, behind in that sense and actually potentially looking like it is facing a rejection at these points, it sort of marks a really big red flag for Bitcoin following similar suit despite this flip in momentum. So if we move over onto the shorter time frame analysis, we can start to talk about the triggers for a potential correction for Bitcoin, and otherwise what would invalidate this potential bearish setup that we're seeing developing across these sort of macro market-wide charts. So on Bitcoin here, what we're seeing here is that after the rallying from Bitcoin over the last couple of days, we have entered into this range starting from $106,600 and ending at this level of resistance, the top of this sort of liquidity zone here on the 4-hour and the daily chart at $110,000. Now, the warning signs on Bitcoin particularly start to pop up here on the short time frame on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart particularly. On the 1-hour chart, we can see that while Bitcoin has been grinding upwards and we've seen quite a steady move upwards in the last couple of days, it has been with a lot of exhaustion, right? We had 2 instances of exhaustion here, a lot of sort of bullish absorption of that selling pressure, sort of pushing us into that liquidity zone and into this level of resistance. But after we've pushed up into that level of resistance there at 106.6K, we've also continued to develop more exhaustion, right? So even though we pushed past what should have been a trigger level and what should have been a bullish, flip of resistance to support, we're seeing that as we test it, we're testing it with less and less buying pressure and increasing selling pressure as well. And we're currently retesting the 50 EMA after breaking above it over here on the Monday, right, when we actually had the start of this rally. So that's a really big warning sign, because if we have approached this level of, what should become support with so much weakness, there is much higher probability here that Bitcoin actually sees a breakdown from that level of support. And we move down to retest these lower levels on the hourly chart at 106, 105, and the 200 EMA and $104.4 thousand. And so when we're talking about a local top developing on Bitcoin or a short time frame correction, those are the levels that we're looking at on the way downwards, right? So essentially taking us potentially as low as $104.5 thousand and the 200 EMA, right? But that is just a short-term correction, right? We've gone up, we've rallied over the last couple of days, we've gone up to a really strong level of resistance, and we've seen a little bit of a local top developing for the time being. The moment when it becomes a little bit more concerning on the higher time frame charts and we risk seeing a steeper correction for Bitcoin can be, signaled here on the daily chart. So over the last couple of days, as Bitcoin's moved into that level of resistance on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame, we've been moving throughout this liquidity zone over here, starting at 104.8 to $109,000. Before we get into any more analysis, guys, let's take a quick moment to talk about one of the most important aspects of being a successful trader: managing your trading fees. If you're interested in supporting me and the channel, BTC is currently offering 15% off your trading fees if you sign up using my affiliate code. You can find it in the description or in the pinned comments, and it'll give you access to all BTC exclusive campaigns and sign-up bonuses, and I'm offering 10% off my VIP membership if you present me your BTC code. So if you're still searching for a great normal KYC exchange, definitely go take a moment to check BTC out. Now let's get back into the charts. And if the correction takes Bitcoin below the 200 EMA as well as that last level of support on the hourly chart, what we risk doing is falling below the base here of that liquidity zone, right? It's exactly at $104.8 thousand. And losing the 50 EMA as well, we risk seeing a correction back down to retest the next available level of horizontal or structural support here on the high time frame, and that is all the way down at 100K, right? So that would be a much steeper correction. And we potentially might see an invalidation of the breakout that we've had here on the daily chart, meaning that momentum hasn't flipped bullish. It was only on the short time frame, and it almost immediately exhausted and we went back downwards. Now, going back to the short time frame charts really quickly, as Bitcoin continues to hold this 50 EMA and that sort of crucial trigger point preventing the price action from breaking down, let's talk about the invalidations for this bearish setup, right? So what would tell us that despite everything that we're seeing, that's a red flag, the price is going to continue going upwards. So of course, as long as Bitcoin holds this 50 EMA, support is support until it's not, right? So the fact that we're seeing all this exhaustion developing really means nothing unless we break down from some sort of support level, right? Because that support is going to maintain the bullish price action. And from what we're seeing right now, there is a lot of absorption going on of that selling pressure. So if that continues, despite bullish absorption, we might continue going upwards. And on the 4-hour chart, what we're really looking out for is the exit from this liquidity zone, right? Because this is that level of resistance that is essentially causing all of this exhaustion. We've moved into this liquidity zone and we're seeing more selling pressure than buying pressure. And if that flips, what that would mean is a move up to the end of that zone and a breakout from $108.6 thousand or this prior high here in the price action. And that would very likely then flip the charts to being bullish once again, right? So because all we've then seen is a decrease in momentum and an absorption of that momentum and a bullish continuation to higher highs.
Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And sign up to my free Telegram for more regular Bitcoin updates. If you're interested in joining my VIP trading channel, be sure to message me down below on Telegram to get exclusive access to my personal trading setups. And if you want 15% off your trading fees, you can create your account using my affiliate link. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!